Hi, everyone, and welcome to Bold and Blissful Woman. My name is Nicole Williams, and I'm your host for the summit. And today I have a very, very, very special guest. Her name is Sarah Blackah, and she's the director of Be Free and Be Changed. It's a brand that helps people really allow themselves to have change in their lives and also create change in the life of others. What I love about your work is that it's really transformative. It's about, connecting with your vision for your life and creating the lifestyle that you desire. First of all, I want to welcome you and say that I'm honored to have you. And if you can tell, the audience a little bit about yourself, what you do, and how you got here.
Beautiful. Well, thank you very much for having me on to start with, because I'm very inspired and very aligned with all the work you're doing, and especially love working with women because I think we're the change makers. So, yeah, thank you. And yeah, I guess a little bit about my journey. I guess it goes back where I began. Like many people, I was in quite a different place about 6 or 7 years ago, where I was, went through a real period of feeling really, really disconnected in my life and within myself. But that manifested in a job I hated, a turbulent relationship. I was a pretty wild partier back in the day, and I just hit a point where I was really unhappy, and I was lucky enough to have an experience and meet someone who had a profound impact in my life. And I really had, I won't go into the details too much, but really had a profound experience where for the first time someone really saw me and they really helped me connect with that feeling, with that place within inside myself. And I guess that vision you have, that person you are, that's real. And gave me the permission to go for it, gave me the permission to let go of everything I thought I was and become the person I really was. And that experience and his support and the big journey that I've been on over the last 6 years, from where I was to where I wanted to be and what I'm living now, has really inspired me to want to reach out and help other people out there that, feel stuck and know that there's so much more that they're here for in life.
Right. I love that. So it's about really connecting and doing what you love, right? And creating a lifestyle that supports you and that lights you up.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Thank you. So I noticed that you mentioned that you were feeling disconnected from your life. What
hmm
happens when, there's a woman that wants to leave her 9 to 5 job, right?
Mm.
She's feeling very, very disconnected, but she doesn't know what she wants to do in her life. Like whether she wants to quit, she wants to move to another job, she wants to go, and create her own business, but she's still feeling disconnected. Like, what are the first steps that you think a woman should do that's in her current place?
Yes, I know this place well. I can really relate. So yeah, I was stuck in a corporate desk job and had big dreams of living in Bali, where I'm fortunate enough to live now, and really creating a business that had a huge impact in the world, and feeling healthy and being around inspiring people, and the big dream. I was a big dreamer, and I was so frustrated because I'm sitting in this corporate desk looking around being like, this is not it. But I started to try and plan, like, how am I going to do it, or look for all these opportunities. And like, I was getting really frustrated because I was really stuck, like trying to figure it out, like how it was going to work and how it was going to look. And what I really found was, again, a lot of what my work's about is going back to the inward journey. So what part of me, what were my beliefs, how did I feel about myself? Did I really think I believed that vision and dream that I had, I deserved it? And so, yeah, I really started to work on myself first. It was really shifting my energy to a higher, more aligned, my thinking, my feelings, my environment, the people I was associating with to love. And once I started to shift my energy, my beliefs, my thoughts about myself, it was amazing the things that I started to magnetize into my life, the right people, the right opportunities. It was the inside out approach to change rather than trying to fix it out here. Once I started to shift my inner world, the outer world started to change and become more aligned with what I wanted. And then it was just taking the next step as it presented itself and moving forward and trusting each step. And when you keep doing that, 2 years later, my whole life is totally transformed, and it just gets better and better, but it always starts here first. So
that's interesting. So you allowed yourself to be guided in the process. You didn't know what the next step looked like. Just allowed it to happen.
Yes, for sure. Because, feeling into this one, that the hows is where we can get bogged down. The hows is where we're trying to use the mind to figure it out. And when we allow ourselves to be guided by something bigger than ourselves, and we align with a love for ourselves, knowing that we deserve it, magical things can start to open up for us. And when we focus on the feelings that we want in our lives, that's what brings in people, situations and events aligned with those feelings. Because ultimately it's never about the end goal. I wanted to live in Bali, I wanted financial freedom, a successful business. They're beautiful things to aim for and desire, but why do we really, really want them? It's how that's going to make us feel. And when we can start to foster those feelings now, that brings that life we desire towards us. It's more of a attraction rather than a pushing, striving, achieving kind of focus.
Yeah, trying to make things happen, right?
Yeah, from this full place, yeah.
So could you share a little bit about, I think this would be really inspirational for the viewers, how you started to magnetize things towards you? Because this is something that I talk with my clients. Some of them desire to travel, desire to live in certain countries, do all these sort of stuff, and the common denominator that I normally see at first is but I want to be here now. I want this to happen now, but where is it and how is it going to happen? And sometimes, at first, they do start to loosen up and open up to the process. But at first, it's so when I start to tell them, forget about the how right now, let's go within. They're like, what? So, can you give them a little bit of reassurance of how they can start to magnetize things towards them?
Beautiful. Yeah, great question. It is a bit scary at the beginning because you feel like you're letting go of control. You feel like, oh my gosh, if I stop forcing things, what's going to happen? My whole world's going to fall apart. And often it takes a point of pain to really, drive people to have to trust on a whole new level. And yeah, for me, I hit a point where I was like, well, what I'm doing is clearly not working. Yeah. So I'm open. And it was like an absolute commitment to loving myself and to trusting. And from there, I guess, going back to your question, I think once you've committed to it and an understanding that it's a practice like anything. It's a practice, and at the beginning it's going to feel a bit weird and a bit uncomfortable, but when you commit to a practice of loving yourself and trusting, you start to see things show up in your life. And for me, you can't solve a problem with the same level of thinking that created it. And so when you start to shift your thinking and your feelings in the inner world, slowly but surely you do start to see things come in. And so often it's with new people, new situations, new opportunities that may have already always been there, but you haven't been able to see them. And so for me, I would start to see people come in, and then they would bring in an idea, which I'd be like, oh, that wasn't in my reality before. Yeah. And then going back to taking that next step, you start to have more positive people in your environment, and it just builds. But it's really a commitment to the practice first. It's one of those things you have to trust, because you can't wait. You can't get the outcome first. It's the inner work, then the outer work.
Wow, I love that. Can you expand a little bit more about, you can't solve things, at the same level of thinking? Like, what what kind of thoughts, or can you give us examples of the thoughts that, won't help you get to where you want to
Mm.
be? Like a few examples of those thoughts, so like maybe it's kind of hard for someone right now.
Yes. Well, a really common one that I'm sure has been a huge one for me and so many people I work with, especially women, is this whole not good enough thing. We need to really look at that one, because it
Yes.
manifests in so many ways. It's like not good enough in relationships, not good enough to deserve to earn good money, not good enough to, our bodies are never good enough. Nothing is ever good enough. And so that belief blocks us in so many different ways. It's so sneaky. It just shows up in all these sneaky little ways. So whenever we're wanting to move forward, first we have to really find an acceptance of where we are, because we can't change until we really accept and love exactly where we are. And that's a huge piece.
Whew.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's a powerful one.
Yeah, and so we hear a lot about gratitude, but it really is one of the most powerful things. We can beat ourselves up for our bodies or our business success or our financial situation, but when we're really grateful for, I have a healthy body, I have 2 arms, 2 legs, my heart beats, I can move, I can breathe. Simple things. When we have I love the saying, we don't get what we think about, we get what we think about. So the more, the
I've
more
never
we,
heard that one in my life, but it just like it was amazing.
oh
I need
yeah,
to write it
I
down.
heard it. Yeah, yeah. So we get what we think about. So really, especially the areas of our lives where we are wanting more money, more success, more beautiful people, more health, more whatever. When we look at where is that already? Where is that already in my life? I am healthy already. I am, wealthy compared to 99.9% of the population. I'm wealthy. I've got beautiful people. I've got love and support. Where we see where we already have it, it really brings in that energy, those feelings, to allow more of that to come in. And that is, I think, one of the simplest and most powerful ways to start shifting now.
I absolutely love that, and I can say something to that.
Yeah,
When I
please do.
first started doing the self development work with my coach, she made me do
Mm.
these exercises around gratitude. And like the original thought that you have, or at least I had, was that I'm already grateful, right?
Mm.
So I don't see, like, what do you mean? And it wasn't
Mm.
until like a year after, like, I would do it, but I wasn't really connected with it. When
Mm.
I really sat down and started to write down every day what I was grateful for in this moment, that's when my
Mhm.
whole life shifted. So I can say that gratitude is for me, the biggest tool right now in my life.
Yeah,
It's the
I
biggest.
100% agree. And I was the same. I'd be like, yeah, I'm grateful. I'm totally grateful. But when you take the time, it's like this beautiful honoring practice at the start of your day to just really feel into that, like those people in your life, the situations, the things that are coming in. It's my favorite part of my day. And like I said, and you've said, it's so simple as well. So simple and so profound. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you take one thing away from this chat, gratitude, and
Yes.
yeah, seeing where it already
Definitely.
is. Yeah.
Definitely. I love that. And as this is a talk about leaving your 9 to 5 and seeing your way all the like all the way through until the end, or you reach your goal. I know that there are women out there, or viewers right now, thinking, so like, where's the structure? Like,
Mm,
where are the
mm,
steps?
Mm,
What are the strategies that I need to do right now? Like, who do I need to contact?
yep.
I know and I understand that all of that is valid and powerful on its own. Can you say in your experience and in, the lives of the women that you've, already worked with, is there like a relationship or a relation in percentage of, the masculine work versus the feminine work? Which, for anyone who doesn't know, like the masculine would be like the structures, the strategies, and all that sort of stuff,
Mm,
and the other
mm.
part, like the visioning, like connection, gratitude, and all this sort of stuff. Have you noticed a balance? Have you
Mm.
noticed something like in particular? What have you noticed about that?
Beautiful question. I'm really, really big. My last few years has been really passionate about this balance of the masculine and feminine because personally I came from a very do, achieve, go, that kind of angle. And in the last few years, I've really softened and seen the power of the feminine and allowing and intuitive processes. So, but I also get you don't want to be all fluffy and, I'll just meditate here and my dreams will just arrive on my doorstep. There's a
Yeah.
practicality to it as well. So what I would say into that, especially to the people out there that are in 9 till 5s, wondering how to really start shifting out of that. For me, I was trying to force it. I was trying to figure it out, like I said. And what I ended up doing, I went on a trip to Europe, and every day I did some processes, and I've got a gift for you at the end that really can start to help people with the inner work.
Right.
But I would spend that time connecting, doing beautiful meditation, doing a visualization, and feeling into the feelings of what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was amazing when I came back from that trip, a beautiful opportunity that I wouldn't have seen before. An opportunity that came in for me to just improve my health, and then there was uh, like a beautiful business model attached to that, which helped me create a freedom lifestyle through wellness, which is now part of Be Free. That came in because I was asking for something, I was ready for something, I was setting the intentions, I was visualizing, I was feeling and connecting with that. So that came in, and I just took the next steps. So then with that came a very practical framework of how to.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a strategy and a business plan of like how to create that lifestyle that I wanted. So first it was, like I said, more the feminine, the visioning, the intuitive step, because when that opportunity came in, my head didn't quite understand it, but my gut did. My gut was like,
Uh,
this asked for, this is what you've been waiting for. So then I took the next step, and then I had the whole roadmap, the how-tos, the plans, everything there. So that was where the practical element came in. Does that
yeah. Yeah,
help? Yeah.
and my mind stayed with something that you just said. Can you say in other words or in like short words, just so it's very clear for everyone, why
Yes,
wouldn't you have seen it before?
beautiful. So going back to what I was saying earlier, you can't solve a problem with the same level of thinking that created it. So in my job, I had a mindset of 9 till 5. We have to work hard our life, social conditioning. This is how the world works. I couldn't see much beyond that, though I wanted something beyond that. When I did the inner work, which is my program, which I ended up putting together, I shifted my energy. I shifted my level of thinking. I changed my belief systems. I knew I deserved more. I didn't know what it looked like. So when it came in, because I'd aligned my energy for something greater, when it came in, I'd actually been presented the same opportunity before but couldn't see it.
Mm,
This time round, I trusted my feelings, and I just trusted to take those next steps. And then it all became more and more evident as I moved along. I'd called this in.
yeah, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. And the reason why I asked that it was because, when I first started, people would tell me this, and it was all sort of like, I don't understand what you're saying, right? And
Yeah.
until like, was it last year or a year and a half ago, I started to really understand the concept. Like when you really do this inner work, you open up and you see things differently. So there are new opportunities showing up for you. And I love that.
Mm.
There was another thing you mentioned that I want to go back to. You mentioned, well, I don't remember right now, but if I do, I'm going to tell you, right? But it was really, really key. And I wanted to ask you, right? So you have connected with your vision by now, right? You are doing the inner work. How do you move, through that transition of already connected with that vision? How do you stay planted in it? How do you allow it to grow and show up in your life? Because I know that process is a little bit shaky sometimes.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of fun elements to the journey. So yeah, I really feel, first it is connection with yourself, because sometimes people are like, what's my vision? What's my vision? And that comes sometimes as well. But I do believe that everyone gets a vision at some point, gets a really clear vision on who they are and what they want. And we wave in and out of that and trusting that, and we doubt. But I do truly believe that everyone is here to bring forth their own vision, and we have the tools and the resources and the skills to do that. That's where the self-love comes in, to actually believe that we can bring that to life. On the journey from where you are to where you want to be, there is this huge transformational process that goes on, and there's many stages to that. And I think I mentioned to you earlier when we were speaking that it's not, I view it as not necessarily becoming more, but more about becoming less, in terms of peeling back like an onion, peeling back the layers that are not us, the conditioning and the doubts and the limiting beliefs and the emotional, energetic blocks that we carry from our past, and all these pieces. So for me and the people that I work with, it's more about really holding a space as love as the highest intention, but helping people let go of the things that are no longer serving them, and focus on where they want to be going. And yes, you're definitely developing skills and constantly growing and evolving. But yeah, it's more about getting back to the roots of who you really are, because from that space we move with a lot more ease and inspiration.
Right. And were you supported while you were in this process of like, did you have a support group, a coach or something? Because sometimes I think it's very key to have it, or else in terms of wellness, like your own well-being, it affects you when you're allowing so much stress in your body. Because I personally think, I honestly thought that my biggest journey in my life was going to be like my love life. I was working on it like since I was very little. But I think like the deepest, most transformative work that I've ever done on myself was to create my business. It's a spiritual work, basically. Like, this being spiritual, I have to believe in myself fully all day, every day. So I went through moments where I gained weight. I didn't realize that I was doing it. I had issues with my health. And, I was supported, but I didn't have an element of support there. But even so, like, how important is to be supported throughout this journey?
So important. So important. And that's why I think I've created the businesses I have. And I'm sure you're the same, because it's a journey. Going back to what you're saying, how do people take that next step? It's a real unknown. It's stepping into a complete unknown zone. Not even uncomfortable at times. It's just unknown. And when you can be coached or mentored or supported by someone that's been through the journey you're going on, it gives you such a sense of peace in the process. So when things come to the surface, you don't think, oh my gosh, I'm crazy, I'm losing the plot. You realize that, oh, beautiful, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm shedding old things, old ways. And it gives you a lot more peace, rather than resisting it, being like, oh my gosh, what's going on. You can really drop into it. And you can shift and change a lot quicker as well. And the support is just so, it was for me absolutely what got me through. I've been so lucky in my life to just have incredible mentors, spiritual teachers, gurus, people that just loved and supported me no matter what was going on. And I really am so passionate about holding that space for others. And I think it's really important as well to have a mentor or someone that you resonate with and that is living a life that you want to be living, or shares a similar story or you resonate with, because everybody out there has an opinion. And if you're trying to make a change and a real transition in your life and you're in an environment where negative people are around you and they don't understand you and they're trying to hold you back, unaware sometimes, that can really stunt your growth. And so you want to be surrounded by people or working with people that are going to lift you up and tell you that your dreams are real and tell you that you've got everything that you need to succeed, and believe in you even when you don't yourself. And I think that is probably another one of the most powerful parts of this journey is having that environment and support around you.
Right. I love that. So you mentioned the word resistance, right?
Mm.
I know there's a lot of resistance just to go to that next level. Like, it's kind of like you are in a tunnel, right? Or you have something in front of you, and you simply sometimes, even unconsciously or consciously, say, no, I don't want to go there because it's too scary. I'm just going to go back or stay here a little while. And that little while then, suddenly transform into weeks, months, years. How do you handle resistance? Because resistance is presence. Like, I think that your ego, which is like your fear-based mind, sometimes, will do anything to keep you there. And it's going to create so much resistance. And sometimes it doesn't even look like it's your ego talking to you.
Oh, I like that. I love that. Because it can come up in so many sneaky ways.
Yeah.
You can genuinely convince yourself. You can be like, I don't even need that. I don't want that. You can justify exactly where you are because it's comfortable. It's really comfortable. So there's two types of resistance I see. There's the resistance to what is in front of us. So we can resist what is, and that's what causes inner stress and conflict. And that's where, when we can love and accept where we're at rather than resist it, we create the space to change. So that's one form of resistance. The other form of resistance is when we're feeling we want to take that next step, but we're resisting our own success, which for a lot of people, as you probably know, or I'm sure you're big on, is where we fear our success more than our failure at times, which seems absurd, but we do it for who knows what reason. So there's that resistance when we are going to go to the next level. And again, that's where a coach or a reference point outside of yourself can really help you discern between the two. What is just that resistance of what is, and your intuition almost guiding you, and what's that resistance of I'm about to break through to a whole new level, a whole new paradigm, and fear is keeping me where I am. And so that external reference point can really ask you some beautiful questions to check in with what that resistance is and help you move through it.
Yeah. I love what you said, and I was thinking about the last one about, fearing our success more than, the percentage of failure. I think it's all about how much do you allow love to come into your life. Like, you are so consumed with what you're seeing out there. Sometimes it's like, life can't get that good, right? So how do you allow love to come in? Because I know that your work is a lot on, love and connected to that highest source of, abundance, really. That's for me what it is. So how do you, when you're resistant, how do you connect to love and push through? That would be my question.
Yeah, beautiful. And for me, I really see that it sounds kind of cheesy or cliched, but everything comes back to love. And when you fundamentally believe that the world is for you, and that it's loving and supporting you, you see that every challenge, every situation that comes in front of you is for your greatest good. So I always, no matter what's coming in, if I'm feeling like pain or sadness or challenge or confusion or whatever's in front of me, I'm like, how is this for me? Where is the love in this situation? How can I align with love in this situation? And how can I expand my capacity to love? So when those people come in that challenge you and you're like getting angry and whatever's in front of you, what is in this for me? Where is the learning? How can I get back to realigning with love? And you'll always get beautiful answers. And I talk about this a lot more in the program that I'm going to give as a free gift to everyone at the end. That, for me, it's just seeing the love in whatever is, and seeing that nothing is right, wrong, good or bad as well is really important, because often we judge, this is right, this is wrong, this is bad. But yeah, the more we can allow love in and see that everything is in our greatest good, the more we can rise to that next level. So when that opportunity for that next level of success comes in, we've got more capacity to realize that we deserve it as well.
I love that. And I think something that happens sometimes, and I've seen it, is that sometimes we want to protect our desire because we don't really see that the universe, that the world is for us, because we are observing what's going on outside. So sometimes, I'm gonna go there. So like,
go there.
when I first heard the concept of surrendering, like surrendering your desires, surrendering the vision that you have for your life, I was like, whoa, no, like no, because I felt like nobody wanted this desire more than I did, and it kind of felt like if I surrender it, it would be robbed or it wouldn't happen. So can you talk a little bit, you probably do this in your book, about how source or that energy of love is limitless and is for you to greater detail, because I've seen it. Part of the whole issue about the how and the timing is about not trusting, right?
Yes.
So can we talk a little bit about that, because I feel like we're going really in deep today.
Yes, let's go there. I love it. I love love. So beautiful question again, and I really feel that there's some beautiful work that I've done a lot of study around, and this non-attachment thing is another huge piece, because when we get so attached to the outcome and what it looks like, that creates a lot of stress internally, but also we are trying to control again. We're trying to say, I know what I'm doing and this is what the plan is, and our minds are limited, and love and the universe, or whatever you want to call it, is so much more abundant and expansive than what we can perceive with our mind. So we're really limiting ourselves and forcing again. So I love Mike Dooley, who's all about, have you done his work?
Yeah.
So he's about, have that vision, daydream about the vision, but attach to the feelings that brings up in you. So get super specific of your dream man or your dream life or your, whatever, like feel into that. But it's the feelings that we're attaching to again. And then let go of the details, because something and I can personally vouch for this, because I actually woke up this morning just in an incredibly, incredibly beautiful environment with, a new beautiful partner and all these things. And I was like, whoa, this is actually magical. And I was so, so grateful. But it looked different, and it was sort of beyond what I had in my mind 2 years ago. Yeah. So it's attaching to the feelings it brings up in you, letting go of the details, and that's where, you stay open to the hows. And it doesn't mean never have a plan, because you need plans, you need structures, but it's, being open to the plans that come and then working on them, but staying open to other ideas as well, because that's where we when we're getting too bogged down in the mind and the hows, and it starts to feel yuck, that's when you know you're off track. So I love the saying, feel your way forward. Keep feeling what lifts you up, what's bringing your energy up, what's keeping you light, what's keeping you in your joy, what's keeping you feeling love, because that's your internal guidance system that's moving you forward in the direction of your dreams.
Right, I love that. And, feelings can be kind of scary sometimes, right? When, there's a lot of emotion there. And sometimes I've seen that it happens that you want to sort of block it out and you want to feel it. Can you, I know that creating a business, moving from your 9 to 5 to being successful in it, can you talk a little bit about what happens when you sort of try not to feel or numb the process? Does it delay? What happens?
Yeah, this is a huge part, or it's been a huge part of my journey, and I'm sure your journey and many other people that have gone through this transition phase, because when you make the decision that you're ready to allow more into your life and move towards your dreams, don't expect it to be this joyous, blissful, loved up ride, because when you start on course for what you really want, you're going to start to surface a lot of other stuff that's been holding you back. And to really feel a deep connection with love, to feel real joy, to feel these beautiful higher emotions, life's about contrast, and we need to go into the fear, and we need to feel the anger, and we need to feel those suppressed emotions, because or else that's where we find a lot of people are walking around quite numb, because mine was alcohol or drugs or, food or keeping busy or all these distractions and ways that we numb ourselves kind of leave us feeling average. We don't have the highs of love and joy, but we don't have the suppressed emotions. So when you really start to go for a life that you fully feel, you feel that gratitude, you feel the love, you feel the joy, you feel on such a deep level, you have to feel the other stuff too. And having the courage and the support to move through that is what allows you to take your whole life to a next level. But you really almost have to be a warrior when you're going for your dreams, because it's a courageous journey and not everyone is ready to do it or wants to do it. But when, would you rather that life, or would you rather move through life with this kind of deeper, slightly unfulfilled part of you? And I guess that's really the choice we get to make. And I'll be perfectly honest, as I'm sure you will, it's not always easy, but it's so, so, so worth it.
It's so worth it. I love that. And it's because, you feel through all those difficult emotions, but you allow those difficult emotions to take you, closer to love. Or how can I choose love here? Because it's not about just, looking at the negative and staying in the negative. It's just okay, so this is, it's a call for love. It's the way that I like to say it. How can this negative emotion how can I transform it? How can I shift it, transmute it, and use it to move me forward? I love that. And can you talk a little bit about how keeping busy is, part of the way that we numb ourselves? I would normally, most people don't realize that, but, I would have friends, sometimes clients that come up and tell me, I currently work from, I don't have time for love, or I don't have time to create my business because I am currently working from 7 a.m. and I left last night at 12 a.m. and I'll be like, whoa, right? And it was a pattern that I saw, but it was just okay, so it's just do you really need to stay? And it's a pattern that I saw, and sometimes it's kind of I would like for you to share a little bit about how keeping busy is part of, being numb, or at least using it to numb ourselves.
Yeah, beautiful. And again, there's so many different ways we do try and numb ourselves, and busyness is one that kind of gets a bit undetected at times. And I'm always big on the intentional why people are doing things. And when you sort of ask people a lot of time, like, you know, we've, busy is the don't have time is the number one excuse not to do anything, especially something that's potentially going to really positively impact our lives. Too busy, too busy, too busy. And again, it's another form of self-sabotage, really, because when you start to ask people, you know, everyone's got the same number of hours in a day, everybody. So what are you busy doing? Whose dreams are you busy creating? And why are you doing what you're doing? And when you actually ask people why they're doing what they're doing, a lot of the time people don't know. They've kind of just got on this treadmill and they're running and they're running and they're running and they don't want to stop, because if they stop, then there's stuff to look at, you know? So when we start to slow down, when we start to take a step back and give ourselves time and space to actually reflect on where we are and where we want to be, and is what I'm busy doing actually moving me in that direction? The answer is generally no. It's just we're so conditioned to just keep going, going, going. So it's a huge one, and it can be scary for some people to start to let go. But again, going back to it, when you start to take time for yourself, you start to pour love into yourself, you start to even simple practices like meditation, you create space to move in a different direction, more in line with what you really want. And the busyness can start to shift, because the outside busyness is generally just the busyness going on here based on often a lot of other people's values, because as well, a lot of the time we don't realize it, but a lot of the time we're busy doing things like trying to get ahead and be super successful in a business or career that we might not like, trying to keep everybody else happy, trying to keep the kids or the family happy, trying to keep friends happy. It's a way that we're trying to seek love and approval from an outside source. So when we get the love piece and we're nurturing and fostering love within ourselves, we realize a lot of these places that we're busy trying to do stuff out here is to get a feeling that we can foster in ourselves.
I love that. I wasn't expecting us for us to go there, talking about, you know, sometimes like you know, the approval and everything, but that's such a key thing. It's about owning your no, owning your yes, and just showing up for yourself, right? Because sometimes we get so caught up in other people's agenda, which is, you know, their intentions are not bad, but we have to own our own no and our yes in this process, and just hold ourselves accountable, because it just plays a trick on us when we try to be everything for everyone, and that's how we start feeling very, very disconnected.
Absolutely, that beautifully brings it back around. Exactly why we get confused about who we are and what we want, and we feel, you know, I personally believe a lot of times where people in this day and age are getting quite depressed and really flat and really, you know, a lot of, you know, even mental health issues. You know, I know there's varying forms, but I really feel like it's been my personal journey. It's a total disconnect from who you are, because placing more importance on everyone else's values as opposed to really living your truth and your own values.
Great, thank you so much. If you could sum up, you know, what are the key elements that are needed for you to really move past your 9 to 5 and really be successful, or get to the other side of creating your business and being able to support yourself in the process? You know, what are those key elements that you observed and that are like a complete reality for you?
Absolutely. Well, the first one I would say is an absolute commitment, like a vow to yourself that you deserve it and that you're willing to take the highs and the lows in order to make it a reality, because there's nothing that is stopping you other than yourself. You've got to get out of your own way. And so when you fully commit to the journey, beautiful things show up to support you, but it always starts with a decision, and no one else can make that decision for you. So that's point one. And ultimately, the decision and commitment to loving yourself. Step two would be definitely having the tools and the support. So there's so many beautiful practices and tools for change available out there now, and to help us foster all these feelings of love, and helping us with our vision, and help us be grateful and feel into what we've got now, but move towards our vision for the future. So, and I'm offering some of those really practical tools. I've done a lot in my 6-year journey of NLP, every course under the sun. I've learnt from incredible shamanic healers, Indian gurus, yoga teacher, meditation, NLP, all these tools. So I've really, in this offer for you, put together the best of what I've found worked in my own life, but also thousands of people in my business. So tools, that is really fundamental, and a supportive environment is so key, both with mentoring and coaching, but also starting to really, when you start to love yourself more, you'll be amazed at the people you bring in. To have a supportive environment of people that believe in you and keep moving you forward is just fundamental. You're the sum of the 5 people you hang around most. So who are you going to be spending your time with? And especially women. A little quick stat. We've got mirror neurons which are constantly downloading our environment, and so we're taking on the energies and the ideas of the people we're around. And so your women are that process is happening 3 times more than it is for men. So we're super susceptible to our environment and what's going on. So the quickest way to create change is put yourself or immerse yourself in environments that are around the people or the women or the dreams or the lives that you're aspiring towards. It's will catapult your success and your journey.
I love that. I love those steps.
They're my 3 top tips.
I love them. They're I think I agree wholeheartedly with 3 tips. I know how important it is to be supported. I know how important it is to have your tools and to be really consistent with them, every day. And just really, really allowing yourself. I think that I once wrote a post that said, being successful in your business is a commitment to loving yourself all through the process, just every day, and just going for your vision. I love that. So I want to thank you so much for this interview. I loved it. It was amazing. I wanted to mention to the viewers, and I know that you've mentioned it, you have a gift for them. Can you tell them a little bit about what it is and,
Yes, absolutely. Well, I've called this gift Loved Up, because I want everyone to feel loved up on life. But again, it touches on a lot of the things we've kind of discussed with the outer transformational changes we want in our life. In any area, it all starts here first. And loving yourself is the most fundamental part of that. In my experience, it just shifts things completely. When I started to realize that my biggest block to success was loving myself, I was like, okay, cool, I've got to love myself. Right, where's the manual? Where's the manual how to love myself? I've got no idea. Clearly, life's in a shambles. So I really, again, looked, read some incredible books, learned from the best of the best in this space, and again, put into practice the things that worked. And I've created the program based on exactly what I did, from the depths of couldn't get out of bed, feeling really depressed, thought life was shit, to really creating that life that is beyond what I thought possible now. So yeah, it's all about simplicity. It's about helping people redefine what success looks like to them, helping people make a commitment, and giving people daily practices, super simple daily practices, because I just want tools that no matter what's going on, people have an anchor where they can come back in, and keep building and building and building that energy of love within themselves. So I'm all about simplicity and what works, and I give you those really practical tools, and as well a supportive environment to move you from where you are to where you want to be, inside then outside.
I love that. That sounds really major. I want to take a look at this gift, to be honest.
You certainly may.
I know that you also, yeah?
Oh, yeah, you know.
I know that you also have another special gift for the viewers.
Yes. For me, when I've had that sort of big first shift that I was talking about, it's because I had a conversation with someone and it just woke up a part of me that set me on the journey, and I haven't been able to look back since. And so if I can help people see that within themselves and feel that part of themselves and wake that part of themselves up, and I know that they're then on their journey, that to me lights me up more than anything. So I really wanted to offer for, okay, I'm going to do 15, the first 15.
Yeah.
I'm feeling generous. The first 15 people that touch base with me on my email address, which I'll give to you. I'm going to give them a free coaching session where I can really help them look at where they're at, where they want to be, and we can start unveiling any of those blocks that are stopping them from being there, because I want them to, I feel like my gift is to really see people, not for who they think they are, but for who they really are. And I just want to wake that up and help them on their way. So that's my added little bonus gift.
Thank you. I love that. I think that a lot of the viewers are going to love it as well. And yes, coaching really does help. Whenever I have a talk with somebody who's like a really high vibe person, it always helps me shift. There's always miracles along the way, like amazing things start to happen. So yes, having powerful conversations is part of the process, one of the biggest ones, if I dare to say. So I wanted to thank you once again for this interview, for your answers. They were amazing. And for everyone else, I hope that you enjoyed this interview, and I'll be seeing you soon. Take care.
Beautiful. Thank you so much again. I'm really excited to be part of what you're doing. I think it's incredible.
Thank you so much. So
thank you for everyone listening.
Yeah.
Good on you for being on the call. You're already on the journey. You're already open and ready.
Yes, I agree. Definitely. So see you then.
Beautiful. Thanks heaps, Nicole. Bye.